Your argument is, no, you don't understand. Israel is not just starving children with no illnesses. We are starving children with illnesses as well. The only way you can find this to be like an appropriate deflection is if you're insane. If you have surrounded yourself with psychopaths.
We've had the opportunity to talk about the situation in Gaza and the intolerable situation, including images of starvation. And I think both of us know that we have to get to that ceasefire and we have to increase humanitarian aid in. And thank you for what you've already been doing, are doing, and are committed to, because without you, this would not be capable of resolution. And I think that if we can work not just on the pressing issues of the ceasefire, but also on this issue of getting humanitarian aid in at volume, at speed, and then we've discussed a plan for what then happens afterwards. I think we can do our very best to alleviate what is an awful situation at the moment. So thank you very much for the discussion we've had so far and the discussion we're about to continue.
I never thought I'd see so many old white men suck each other off disaggressively, but with a European accent, you know? Because like we watch Fox News all the time here, and whenever Trump is on, you see every American gargling his dick and also sometimes his balls. But I never thought I would see that like Euro style. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's cool to watch. It's like it's definitely a different change of pace. It's like it gives it an air of elitism almost. Yes, Mr. President, you've done such a fantastic job. Thank you for exploiting the entire European continent. It's refined and sophisticated is right. That's exactly what it is.
It's fantastic to be here. Thank you for your hospitality and to see this amazing golf course. I'll invite you to a football ground at some stage and we can exchange sports.
It's been great being with you, and thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. And you've done a fantastic job with regard to the trade deal. You know, they wanted a trade deal here for years, many years, through many different terms of different people, and you got it done. So I want to congratulate you on that, and it's a great deal for both. It brings unity. We didn't need unity, but it brings us even closer together. I think it's good for both parties. We also discussed obviously Gaza, and I think before we get to phase 2, which is what's going to happen afterwards, we want to get the children fed. We made a contribution a week ago of $60 million, all going into food. We only hope the food goes to the people that need it, because so much, as you know, when you do something there, it gets taken by Hamas or somebody, but it gets taken. But
damn, even Trump started adding "or somebody." Who's the somebody, bro? Now he's like, all right, even he's adding qualifiers. It's crazy. Maybe it's not just Hamas. Maybe it's somebody else. Who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody knows who's taking the food. Great. Does Keir Starmer pass as charismatic in Britain? No. Also, Trump looks like absolute doo-doo butter, dude. What the hell is this? Bro, he looks extra shitty today. What is happening? He looks worse than you? Yeah, I thought I looked like shit today because I'm tired. Also, I look great. Fuck you. Like, this is not a comparison. Like, look at this man. He looks like he's rotting. Trump experiences Scottish air for the first time, and it instantly destroys him. He's like getting refeeding syndrome, but from not sucking in American air for the first time, dude. He's like, his body is not responding positively. Please melt some tar in my vicinity. Quick, give me burger. I need burger. Pronto. I'm dying. Air is too clean. Not enough burger. Give me smog. This is the worst I've seen him in a while. I don't know if it's the Epstein stuff. Anyway, let's continue.
We're prepared to help. We want to help. It's a terrible situation, but it's great to hear you feel the same way that I do. We have to help on a humanitarian basis before we do anything. We have to get the kids fed. So we've been sending in a lot of food. A lot of the food that's been going there has been sent by the United States. It's very difficult to deal with Hamas. As I said, we got a tremendous amount of hostages out. but it would take place in drips and drabs. You'd get 10, you'd get 5, you'd get 2, you'd get 10, 12. We get 12 one time. Many of them would come to the White House, and they were so thankful. But I always said, when you get down to the final 10 or 20, you're not going to be able to make a deal with these people because they use them as a shield. And when they give them up, they no longer have a shield. And the people of Israel feel so strongly about the hostages. Some people would take a different view, but they feel so strongly about the hostages. So that's an ongoing process. Hamas has become very difficult to deal with in the last couple of days because they don't want to give up these last 20 because they think as long as we have them, they have protection. But I don't think it can work that way. So I'm speaking to Bibi Netanyahu, and we are coming up with various plans. We're going to say it's a very difficult situation.
Why is he still running defense for Israel when reports indicate he's privately pissed off at Bibi? Because the reports are bullshit. That's it. Because it's like Biden. It's the same nonsense that Biden did, where he was like, look alive. I'm so mad. I'm gonna give a talking to. I'm gonna tell him, he's gonna have a come to Jesus moment. With Israel and the United States of America, it's this, okay? It's this. It's a unified front. Israel does whatever America wants. Now, I will say, post-Obama, especially under Trump 1, Israel increasingly took over the steering wheel of America's foreign policy and its interventions in the region. They took the driving seat, okay? They took the driver's seat and they started driving the car. That's for sure. And Biden did not scale that back in any capacity. As a matter of fact, he put his foot on the gas. He basically took Israel's leg and pushed it down, okay? Slammed it. The idea that Trump is mad or whatever, it's bullshit. Trump could get more mad in the future if it becomes like a bigger problem, if it becomes a bigger issue, right? If there are more consequences for this allegiance, then maybe Trump will scale back or force Israel to scale back. But once again, that requires continued pressure. That requires Trump's base to feel some type of way. Here's Barak Ravid reporting on Trump's statement. There's real starvation in Gaza. You can't fake that. That was one of the craziest things I saw, at least. I saw a New York Post report and even heard from some Hasbara accounts that were trying to say, that famous photo of the starving child is actually fake. Why is it fake? Because that child has a genetic muscular disorder. And they're so echo chambered. Israel accounts are so unimaginably echo chambered that they literally think the best counter to a now infamous photo is to say, Israel isn't just starving all children. I mean, Israel isn't just starving healthy children. Israel is starving children with genetic diseases as well. Israel is starving children that have debilitating genetic diseases. It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen. You have to be completely out of your mind. Hamas's fake narrative exposed truth about the Gazan child who made global headlines. Israel officials confirm 5-year-old Osama al-Rakab suffers from genetic diseases, not a war-related starvation. Gaza starvation poster child has genetic condition. Starved Gaza child suffers from genetic illness. Kojat, a photo of a 5-year-old Osama al-Rakab has gone viral, used to falsely depict Israel as responsible for his condition, claiming Israel starving children. The facts: Osama suffers from serious genetic illness unrelated to the war. On June 12, we actively coordinated Osama's exit from Gaza with his mother and brother to the Ramon airport. He's now receiving treatment in Italy. That last part is also fake. I don't think that that's what's going on anyway. It's so crazy because there are so many starving people, so many starving children. There are a ton of different photos of starving babies, starving parents, the doctors, the healthcare professionals, and people that work for Oxfam, people that are not supposed to be starving under any circumstance. No one is supposed to be starving, but doctors especially are not supposed to be losing weight in a fucking battlefield. Okay? Remember, there are a special status. We are talking about Americans and Westerners who supposedly have special status in this circumstance. The reason why they go to this field of battle is specifically because they use their bodies and the special status that they have in the eyes of the international community as a human shield to defend to defend the civilian population. Everyone is starving. Hostages are starving. I've never seen something like this before. Like, I've never seen an instance where like a Doctors Without Borders doctor is visibly skinnier, gaunt, week after week. Children who suffer from illnesses such as cerebral palsy have been cut off from the medicine, food, and care they need. Thanks to Israel's blockade being the most vulnerable, they will visibly starve and die first, as we are witnessing. Somehow this is hard to grasp for Israelis. These kids are both suffering from illness, but you would never know that from how the media is telling their stories. Like, dude, they are also starving. Your argument is, no, you don't understand. Israel is not just starving children with no illnesses. We are starving children with illnesses as well. The only way you can find this to be like an appropriate deflection is if you're insane. If you have surrounded yourself with psychopaths, and no one at no point says, hey, this is fucked up. There's a lot of people who are motivated into turning a blind eye to these atrocities. You just got to drop them. There's like not much you can do as far as like convincing them. Focus your efforts on people who you can convince. Can't even wrap my head around the fact that we live in the same world with the Israelis. I mean, there are plenty of evil people, man. What are you talking about? There's a lot of evil people out there. This is Ta-Nehisi Coates, who very correctly pointed out and said, the Democratic Party doesn't care about genocide. What makes you think they care about democracy? A party that actually contributes to an ongoing genocide and refuses to address it is not a party that is going to defend your liberties either. You are stupid for thinking that the Democrats would turn around and like defend democracy or defend your civil liberties here in the United States of America against like fascist forces, because they obviously have no problem with these images. These images did not occur overnight. Famine doesn't start overnight. That's not how it works. It's been really strange watching these people like, the Matty Iglesias of the world or whatever be like, oh, well, it just happened. Starvation doesn't set in overnight. People are trying to save face and act as though those who were warning as the famine has started were in the wrong for highlighting the plight of the Palestinians. That's the other side, which is that we're not making this shit up. We're simply communicating, offering a megaphone to the Palestinians themselves, who are talking about the experiences that they're going through. But they can't say that. They can't get mad unless you're Israeli. You can't openly be like, fuck this Palestinian, you know what I mean, who's dying in a genocide. So you just say, oh, fuck the left for highlighting this and making me mad. It's like, well, you don't seem too mad about the situation. You seem more mad about me telling you what's going on. Ay. This is depraved and obscene even by normal Matt Iglesias standards, simultaneously smug, massively dumb, racist, sniveling, and ass covering. Palestinians are simply incapable of being witness to their own genocide. They're all liars, but an Israeli says it now, so it's time to listen up. I would recommend this from Haviv Retigor and the Free Press to the skeptics. There's been some crying wolf that has unfortunately poisoned the waters to an extent, but the wolves are now, in fact, here. What an insane way to do an about face here, which is not even an about face at all. It's basically saying like that the only time I'll believe that there is mass starvation happening is if an Israeli says it's happening.
If they didn't have the hostages, things would go very quickly. But they do, and we know where they have them in some cases, and you don't want to go riding roughshod over that area because that means those hostages will be killed. Now, there are some people that would say, well, that's the price you pay, but we don't like to say that. We don't want to say that. And I don't think the people of Israel want to say that either, which is pretty amazing. A lot of people would say, just get it done and whatever it is. You could also say speed might be better for the hostages. You go through, with speed, you may have a better chance because they're in deep trouble. They're in deep trouble. You saw October 7th, and you saw what the damage and the horror that they committed. People can't forget that. They tend to forget it, but they can't forget that was one of the most evil things I've ever seen.
October 7th, one of the most evil things I've ever seen. 22 months of October 7th, twice a week. Not that evil because the other side is brown and scary. They deserve it. That's it. That's what it is. That's all this is. It's fucking insane.
So we're very much involved. The Prime Minister's involved. I'm involved. And I think I can speak. We just signed a very big trade deal, the biggest of them all yesterday, right? And the European Union is very much involved in wanting to help with really the Palestinians in terms of getting people fed. But the area of Gaza, another way of defining it is the area of Gaza. It's a very troubled place, and it has been for many, many years. It has been for many decades. So it's not like this just happened. This has been going on for a long period of time.
It's probably not good for overall discourse when you have the president from the bully pulpit consistently lying. Like, even outside of the moral depravity, the moral rot, it's got to be strange. Like, I don't know what it does to our like understanding of the truth in general when the president will just be like, yes, oh, these trade deals are fantastic. Why? Because there's they're giving us $500 quintillion. Okay. Oh, I stopped this war. I stopped that war. This war was going on for 1,000 years and I stopped it. Like, none of the things he's saying are correct. The only things he can like hold up as accomplishments for his administration are just shit that he cooks up seemingly on the spot. Things that he is not necessarily putting a lot of thought into. Very strange behavior, very strange set of circumstances. Could you explain why he's wrong? Not a Trump guy, just curious. He did not stop any actual fucking war. Like, that's not real. Like, when he says the Japanese trade deal is fantastic for us, he's saying that he got an IOU from Japan. And when you dive into like the details of the IOU, okay, it's actually not $500 billion. It's just Japanese companies adding investment back into Japanese companies. It's not like they're opening up new facilities or anything like that. He just lies about everything. It's no different than saying like, I found unicorns. Unicorns are real. I found them and I'm breeding them. I'm breeding them left and right. You can see them everywhere. Okay. I mean, you can choose to believe it. Or maybe you can like look into it. Right? You can look into it a little bit further and realize that, oh, he's just talking about horses. Like, those are just horses. And they were there already. There are no unicorns. He didn't even slap a fucking cone on the top of the horse's head to make it look like a unicorn. He's just claiming that there are unicorns now. Every positive thing that he can hold up that his administration supposedly did is just completely made up. He's just making it up. What does that do to discourse in general? What does that do to our understanding of the truth? Just one of the many different ways in which the administration, I think, is just like destroying everything. Like, I don't know.
So we've done a lot of good work. We've had great support from the Prime Minister. Anytime we needed help, anytime we needed any form of support, you've been there. We appreciate it very much. Absolutely. And we're going to continue onward. We do have to take care of the humanitarian needs on what they used to call the Gaza Strip. You don't hear that line too much anymore. You don't hear the Gaza Strip, but it is the Gaza Strip, and it's amazing. It's not being handled a little bit differently. We're going to set up food centers, and we're going to do it in conjunction with some very good people, and we're going to supply funds, and we just took in trillions of dollars. We got a lot of money, and we're going to spend a little money on some food, and other nations are joining us. I know your nation's joining us, and we have all of the European nations joining us, and others also have called, and they want to be helpful. So we're going to set up food centers and where the people can walk in and no boundaries. We're not going to have fences, and they can't. They see.
Oh, no more GHF aid trap. Is that what's going on? I don't think so. By the way,
Mr. President, you just talked about setting up food centres in conjunction with other organisations.
Right.
You're talking about the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation or recognised aid agencies. How will this work?
Well, it's going to be working with the United States. Will be helping with the food. We have a lot of access to food. We got a lot of food ourselves. And we're going to bring it over there. We're also going to make sure that they don't have barriers stopping people. You've seen the areas where they actually have food, and the people are screaming for the food, and they're 35, 40 yards away, and they won't let them because they have lines that are set up. and whether they're set up by Hamas or whoever, but they're very strict lines, so we have to get rid of those lines. But we're going to be getting some good, strong food. We can save a lot of people. I mean, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it. And
yeah, there's real starvation stuff. Well, at least he is recognizing that there is real starvation stuff happening in the Gaza Strip. That's crazy. Oh my God.